Hello and welcome to New Filmmakers Los Angeles. My name is Danny De Lillo. I'm delighted to be joined here with Kieran Thompson with his movie, Wish You Were There. Let's take a look at the clip.
What are you doing?
Do you get this?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Oh, this glass. Look at this glass. Somehow or another, I don't think you get it.
I get it. I do.
You really get it?
Yes.
Everything I
it's
said.
beautiful.
Because somehow or another, I don't think you got it.
I get all of it. It's
You get all of it.
beautiful.
Not the middle, but you get all of it.
All of it.
It's because this is one fantastic building.
Oh, Tom.
Kieran, welcome back. I'm sorry we're not able to do this in our studio, but we'll make this the best and the greatest. Thank you for bringing your film to us. It was just such an enthralling story. But for those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis of your film.
Sure. The film is called Wish You Were There, and it was made in partnership with the Phoenix Art Museum to celebrate their 60th anniversary. And instead of doing commercials to celebrate that, we were able to pitch them to do short films and tell some stories of people who go to the museum and things they experience there. And this story revolves around a couple, Ingrid and Tom, who are on a first date, if you will, at the museum.
Well, firstly, I'm glad you had you said it was in celebration of the 60th anniversary, because all I wanted to do was go to that museum. I was like, I want to go. This looks like an amazing place to be in, and it's a beautiful complex as well. What a delightful story. And I know in a weird way that you kind of came around making this film in a slightly different angle from, obviously promoting and celebrating the museum. But how did the story go how did the story start and then inspired to actually the story of this wonderful kind of first date of these wonderful characters?
So our writer, Chris Heck, is a good friend of mine, and he's another director here in the Phoenix area. And he has been in a writing group for years with someone in the marketing department at the museum. And they've kind of toyed around with the idea for years of making short films in some way. And finally, the opportunity came up with the 60th anniversary. And other than they really wanted to encourage representation. So there were all different types of stories they wanted to tell. And this one revolved around the older couples and older people who are often at the museum. Other than that, we had so much creative freedom. There wasn't a limit on the length of the film or certain paintings we had to show or anything. So Chris Heck wrote a beautiful script, and from there we were able to present it to the museum, get it approved, and kind of continue to develop it together.
It was just, firstly, it was part of obviously our, counter-ageism program as well. And I think, as we know, there's just not enough films about more, seasoned actors, but also, people that have had a great deal of life experience of stories. And I was just immediately drawn to the fact that this was, a couple going on their first date, but you felt the same butterflies of what they probably would have been as teenagers. It was just really sweet. I fell in love with the characters. I really just fell in love with both of them, and just you could feel their just energies and insecurities, and it was just beautiful to watch. For you as a director and directing something like this, how was that? How was it bringing the cast together, and how much did you work with them, and what's your kind of process in working with your actors?
It was a fantastic experience working with Christine and Lester, who play our main couple. I think that there's there are not many opportunities for older actors out there, and actors jump at an opportunity to tell a story that they believe in, but many of them just want an opportunity to act. So in our auditions, we saw lots of fantastic older actors who don't have many opportunities to do what they love. So Christina and Lester we paired Ingrid's and Tom's together, and they were supposed to be in separate groups. But one of them was early and their partner was late, so they got paired
Often
together.
happens. Yeah.
And they just had that chemistry, and and they brought so much to the table. Christine's been acting for years. Lester came into it later in life. He had a full career in the Air Force and has done incredible things there. They bring all this wisdom and knowledge and life experience to the table. And one thing that I talked about with them is any person of any age can experience new love. So it's
Yes.
not young love, it's not old love, it's new love. And what does that feel like? And on the flip side, in our story, you also get to see the patience and the perseverance required by a long-term relationship. And that's what I really connected to with the story. My wife and I have been together for 12 years now, and we've known each other even longer than that. And I realized that that is relatable no matter what age you are.
Yeah.
Is what does it take to keep a long-term relationship going?
Yeah, no, and I found all of that completely fascinating as well. And just, and sometimes meeting the right person at the right time of your life, or a time when it will actually work. And, I think the one thing that I loved as well is that, there's always a nervousness around, meeting someone for the first time. But, just that the way the museum kind of fitted in, it brought this wonderful kind of synergy of just, finding out someone's interests, and it really, really worked. And like, oh, he may more like more of this and she may more like that, but maybe adapting to understand each other. And it really came across in the writing. It was beautiful that this whole experience was through the flow of the museum. I mean, again, I'm sure stuff happens that's in the script and you direct, but was there any kind of area where, you just kind of let things play a little bit and just kind of see how they end up? How is that part for you?
Yeah, so we shot this, it's a 17-minute film. We shot it all in one day. So it was a very busy
Wow.
day.
Wow, that's insane.
Yeah, it was a bit insane. But on the day, it was very, myself and the producers, we all come from a producing background. And we always go in like with some ambition, but we always know we can achieve what we're setting out to do. So we're
I
not
love it.
running the crew ragged and things like that. But part of that was essential was everything is scripted and planned for the most part, except for what I call the date sequence, which is they
Yeah.
go through this tunnel and they go through these different areas of the museums up to the
Yep.
miniatures, and everything there was completely improv.
Wow.
And of course, before we shot it, I said, "Oh, this will just be a montage, and we'll put music over it." And so I want you to create. I was creating scenes on the day, but I didn't plan to use the dialogue. Thank God, our sound person Niall was recording the sound and diligent about getting
Oh,
it, because
great.
in the edit, we felt that the pacing of the film doesn't call for a montage there. The rest of it is all these long handheld single shot scenes.
Mm,
And to go into something more chopped up didn't feel right. And we felt like we got to really go on the date with this couple there. So we knew the
yeah.
areas we were going to be in, but we just covered it as if it was a documentary. I gave them little kind of scenes and kind of actions to follow, and we just captured it as if they were living it and we were filming it, as a fly on the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it really, I almost had this butterflies myself. I felt it was that personal being on this date with them. It was
Mhm.
really, engaging. No, I am curious because I was completely impressed that you did film in a museum. And I also thought, what trials and tribulations does that happen? And did you film in a day that wasn't open? How did you get around that? Because museums obviously, or they're usually always obviously busy.
Yes, and we filmed this before the pandemic, so it was very open and very
Congratulations.
busy. We had such fantastic support from the museum, and we were able to ask people to be quiet during takes. And thankfully, it's a museum, so people are quiet anyway for the most part.
Yeah.
But our last scene, which is a very emotional, very intense scene. Right next to the painting, they were doing a workshop for elementary school kids, where they
Okay.
were painting. They were drawing paintings they saw on the wall in the exhibit. They were loud and boisterous, and we had no idea they were going to be there. Even our
Oh
coordinator with
goodness.
the museum had no idea they were going to be there. And we didn't want to ask them to leave. So we were going to shoot that scene and then the whole date sequence, and we had to flip it. And we still were dealing with it at the end of the day of them kind of wrapping up. And so we only had time for 2 takes of that final scene. And
Oh wow, we
thank
got it.
goodness we had such fantastic prepared crew and cast, and we were able to pull it off.
Wow. Well, it's good to know some of these things where you've had to just think on the off the cuff and change things around, and of course you had a good team with you that allowed that to happen as well. Yeah, I mean it was so nicely shot, and it really was a great script, and it was great acting. I mean it was a full round wonderful performances, and you know yeah, the emotional scene that you're in reference to. I mean I just had tears just coming down because you know I think like a lot of us, we either know someone or been through someone that is, you know, not just getting older, but just also, you know, going through the whole dementia and experience and all that stuff, and how painful that is for people and families of your loved ones. I thought you captured it so well. And I thought you were so, you know, I felt a lot of people resonating. If not, they did not experience someone, they'd learned what this experience is like. And the way that she dealt with it was just even more made you want to cry. I've got tears in my eyes again thinking about it. And it was so beautiful. Like having a scene like that, of course, you got a great writer and you know, you're directing this. Like, how do you go about this? Because obviously you do realize this is obviously a lot of people experience this. And kind of what did you want your audience to take from it too?
Um, I think I focused at the beginning when I first was prepping, working with Chris's script. It was very much about the dementia, kind of Alzheimer's aspect of it. And if I haven't written something I'm directing, I have to find what it means to me. And I have to find like what is the meaning of the story and what do I want the audience to think and feel. And I really came to that feeling about a long-term relationship requires patience and perseverance. And I gave that to our writer, Chris, and he just wove that so beautifully into the script without it ever being said, but it's just felt. And so I think in a scene like that, I just wanted to see what her patience could do for her husband. You know, she obviously had a very hard day and felt like giving up, but she was there because she wanted to be there for him, not for herself, you know. And when you see that pay off for her unexpectedly, where there's that moment where he remembers, you can feel their old love, you know, for that moment. And our actors, I mean, one of the joys of working with older, more experienced actors was whenever I work with an actor the first time, I like to ask them, how do you like to work? What do you need from me? How can I best support you? And they both said about the same thing, was tell me what you want and I'll use the tools I have to make it happen. And that was so refreshing because I've worked with many young actors where I've had to be a bit of an acting coach, and not only know what I want, but help them get there. And with both of these actors who've just are very experienced and very good at what they do, I just had to be able to clearly communicate what I wanted. And then they did it. And if I noticed that something was a little off from what I wanted, I just had to clearly communicate that, and they adjusted so well. So really, we didn't have to do many takes, and they're the only reasons we were able to do these long single shot scenes, because they brought it every time, you know, and they felt lived in. The characters felt lived in.
And and the big reveal, I mean, the wonderful thing that you discover as you go through the journey of the film is that, you know, it's this old love, you know, this beautiful, you know, which makes it, I mean, there's so many, like, I can't tell you, there's like a lot of different tears for different reasons that popped out for me, you know what I mean, personally. And I just love seeing them just, you know, just feeling the energy that they shared on camera. It was so special. And I think, you know, it will be meaningful to a lot of people as well. And I think it's, you know, something that we've got to continue, an area that we need to continue to support with research and financial support as well. And I think you really raised a good platform there, as well as a great celebration of the 60th anniversary of the museum too. Now you're coming towards the end of your festival run. Congratulations. I know it's a very interesting time to put out a film into a film festival. We certainly love having your film at New Filmmakers LA. How has that experience been? How has it been? How's the reaction been to your film?
It's been fantastic. We were able to sneak in one festival before the pandemic in February of last year of 2020 at the Sedona International Film Festival, which is an incredible film festival with a lot of the audience are a lot of older audience members, and they were the most engaged, beautiful audiences. I mean, whether there was a screening at 10 a.m. or 8 p.m., every theater was packed full.
It was wonderful.
A fantastic experience. And to go from that to every other festival we were a part of was either pushed online or canceled or postponed. So it's been a challenging year, but I think like New Filmmakers just adapting. And yesterday we had our premiere screening on New Filmmakers, and the Q&A afterwards. It was so cool to see people from all around the world who never would have been able to attend the screening in LA. But we had people from South America and Asia, in the Middle East, like in England. It was really cool. So I think that I'm hoping that some of these virtual platforms will stick around, so people who can't attend normally are able to and are able to see these films. But it's been a fantastic experience. And now the film's available online at wishshort.com. Wishshort.com. And having it online and seeing people's reaction to it has been really beautiful, because unfortunately dementia has touched so many people in so many ways. But to see people saying this captured what I've gone through, or this, gave me some hope, or all these different comments that we've received online have been really beautiful. So it's we make films for people to see, and we make films to hopefully impact them in some way emotionally. And so to see that we've done that for even one person is really touching.
Yeah, no, I mean, it reminds you like, okay, this is why I make film. This is why I do what I do. So I'm, well deserved with that reaction as well. Honestly, it's very, very, very special. I know it's obviously very uncertain times, but what are you working on? What is next plan on the horizon? Obviously, of course, we've got to get through a few hurdles first, but what is next?
So I've been working on my next feature film, the script for it, for the past 5 years. And just at the end of 2020, finally we got to a point where we felt we had captured what we hoped to capture in the screenplay. And that was thanks to my producing partner and our writer are both in LA. I'm in Phoenix, and we just met all throughout the summer in the pandemic on Zoom and worked together and sent the script out for notes and did more passes. And we were able to get a script and lookbook for this feature that I'm feeling really good about, and tells a story exploring male friendship and how men need strong friendships more than ever before. But we need to learn how to be honest and open and vulnerable with one another. So, the film is about three friends who go on a backpacking trip to reconnect, but really learn how to be friends, and that they want to be friends, and what they need to do. So we are hoping to film that sometime this year. So at the moment we're going out to cast and we're going out to investors, but it's something that's really personal and meaningful to me. So this past year gave us the gift of all of us being available at the same time and being able to get it done.
Well, Kieran, I'm first in line to watch that. I can't tell you how I'm so glad you're making a film about that subject, because, goodness me, it needs to be heard, needs to be said, and we need to allow men to be able to be more vulnerable and in touch with their feelings than what we are projected in society. So I love that you're making a film. So best wishes with that. But listen, Kieran, thank you so much for bringing this film to you, and thank you for bringing you got such a wonderful nature, and I feel like you must have such a great balance on set, and you know, people love to work with you. So thank you very much for bringing it, and best wishes with the feature, and hey, at least you've got lookbooks together and created that, and that's all very exciting. Just to finalize up, for any filmmakers out there that are kind of following your footsteps, is there any kind of thing that you could kind of share that's kind of, you know, to support the filmmakers out there that's important to you, that you kind of go by as you're creating as an artist?
Sure. I mean, in a way, this is, you know, I'm back at New Filmmakers. My first short film, my college thesis film, was at New Filmmakers in 2008.
Yes.
And when I look back, you know, it's almost 13 years ago. I still feel like a new filmmaker, and I'm embracing that. I think there was a time where that got me down, or I worried so much about, was I doing things soon enough, or, you know, was I making the right choices? And I think what really helped me is to sit and reflect on, why do I want to make films? It's not that I want to be a director. I don't want to just direct any films. I want to tell stories that can make an impact on people and can benefit our society. And I think that's, why most people got into filmmaking. And so the best way to do it is just make films that feel true to you in the way that your gut tells you to make it. Don't think, is this the right way to make a film? Am I following the rules here? Just do what feels right to you. And you are a unique human being with a unique artistic voice. So use it, and don't worry about what anyone else is doing. So that's taken me years to learn. And
but hey,
I'm just finally feeling comfortable in it.
Yeah, it's valuable, and I love that there's so much pressure that goes on ourselves to understand our whole creative perspective, and it's a journey, and you know, I love that you shared that. Well, listen, thank you very much, Kieran. Keep bringing more films to us, please. Don't leave it another 13 years, okay? We need more of your content.
Anytime.
But no, congratulations. Thank you for making such a special film on a special subject with some special people. And we look forward to seeing much more of your work. So thank you, Kieran.
Thank you, Danny. It's a pleasure.
Awesome.